It is the end of January 2024, and thought I'd better check in. I hope everyone had a good holiday and New Year's, and I can't believe we're at the end of January already. It's been pretty busy this month for me, so I haven't had a chance to get the boat out. So there's a big freighter right there anchored. Just wanted to make sure I clear them. We had a bit of a cold spell, got down to about minus 12 Celsius, feeling like minus 18 Celsius, which is pretty cold for this area. Nothing compared to Yellowknife. Coldest temperature I had there was minus 57 with the wind chill Celsius, so that's pretty cold. Today is quite warm actually, but super foggy. It's starting to lift a little now, but I've just been slowly going along. I have the radar going, which is nice. We've never had radar before. So when we upgraded our electronics on Northern Dancer 5, we said we must have radar. And today's the first day I've really actually had to use it. So, like I say, it's starting to lift a little bit now, so that's good. I can probably speed up a little now. And I might just head to Wallis Island again. And we'll see what the next few days bring. If you saw the last video, I was here at Princess Cove. It's a good little anchorage for southeast winds. You're open to the north to come into the bay. I'm in about 29 feet of water. There's one other boat. I thought maybe this time I'd be the only boat, but there is one other boat here, so I'll have to share the anchorage. In the summertime, this place is crazy. There's stern ties all the way along. If you watched the last episode, I talk about this anchorage a bit. And I don't know what I'll do, if I'll stay here. It's the end of the day, as you can probably tell by the light. I don't know if I'll just stay here or move tomorrow. But I've got a few days off to think about it. So just nice to get away from the city and from the marina, and even if I have to share the anchorage with one other boat, it's not so bad. Well, good morning from Princess Cove. It was a bit of a windy night, but fairly protected in here. It was coming out of the southeast, so this is a good bay for that kind of protection. And a super calm morning. Just been relaxing, and I thought I might walk over to this cool little cabin. Well, I've made it to Conover Cove. It's a pretty short walk, and as you can see behind me, there's a really fun abandoned cabin that has all kinds of driftwood, boat names, dates, people, everything you can think of. And the inside is just full. There's a couple large picnic tables inside, so you can stop and have your lunch and enjoy all the names. It's a bit of a dark day today, so hard to get some footage inside. But inside, outside's covered with little driftwood plaques. Anyways, it's a fairly short walk, but if you do come to Wallace Island, it's I think I mentioned in my previous video that nearly the entire island is a marine park. So it's got some good maintained trails. You can anchor in Princess Cove or Conover Cove. Conover Cove is very shallow, so very shallow entrance, shallow bay. So if you're a deep draft boat, I wouldn't recommend it. But there is a dock in Conover Cove. The only thing to watch out for if you stay at the dock is the raccoons, because they'll come right onto your boat and take whatever they can off the boat. That's happened, personal experience. I'll do my Strava on the way back just to see what the distance is between Conover Cove and Princess Cove for walking. It's a very easy walk. It's super maintained. Although this time of year, I definitely recommend wearing rubber boots because there's lots of water on the trail. You'll get some wet feet if you don't have rubber boots on. Anyways, I'm just going to go down over towards the dock there, take a look, and then I'll start heading back. Well, I'm back at Princess Cove. The distance from the dock at Conover Cove to the dinghy dock at Princess Cove was 1.9 kilometers, and a very easy walk. There's only one little part that actually goes up a hill. And the other boat left, so I'm all alone in the anchorage here. It's supposed to be a little bit of a southeast blow tonight, so I actually pulled the anchor and moved right as far in as I could. I'm in about 20 feet of water now, and I'll be fine there when the water gets low. We're about mid-tide now. It's so weird to be here with no other boats. In the summertime, like I mentioned, it's just packed. You usually can't get a spot in here unless you're really early and you're catching someone leaving. And all behind me, there's stern tie rings on chains all along the shore. So you pretty much have to stern tie in here. You can get a couple smaller boats anchoring in the middle, but there's so many stern tied boats, it's a little difficult. Yeah, I'm gonna get something to eat and then just relax for a bit. Well, good morning. It's the next day, and I survived the storm. A friend of mine at the marina said that it was blowing 40 knots at the marina. So happy to report that there was not much wind in here, and Princess Cove offers good protection during a southeast. And I don't know what I'll do today. I might just stay here. I've been enjoying this bay to myself. I think when I may have mentioned when I got here there was another boat here, but now it's just been me here for most of the day yesterday and maybe all today, so we'll see. And I don't know if I'll do any more walking around. It's pretty muddy, and there's another trail that goes to the top of the island, but I've never done that one. I'd like to do that one when Devlin gets here. So I'll probably just do a bit of cleaning up and low-key day. I'll head back to the marina tomorrow. Oh, and if you're wondering how I stay warm on the boat, I think I've mentioned it before, but we have a hydronic S-bar heater that works really well. Like, it heats the boat up super fast. And when we were having our minus 12 Celsius, feeling like minus 18, the hydronic S-bar was keeping the boat at 20 degrees Celsius inside. It's not that cold here now. It's about 8 or 9 degrees Celsius. So I've just been running the wall furnace. It runs on diesel, and when I woke up this morning, the boat was 19.9 degrees Celsius, so that's all I really need. And the advantage of the wall furnace is that it doesn't use very much power. It uses 0.2 of an amp to run the little pump that just runs on pressure. So it's a little tiny fuel pump that pushes the diesel over to the stove or the wall furnace. Some people have a day tank that's gravity fed. Then you just have to transfer that fuel over or fill it up with a jerry can, but mine runs right off the main tank. And yeah, that's it for now. We'll see what happens. Well, it's getting near the end of the day, and I didn't get up to too much. Well, one of the things I like to do is I bake quite a bit of bread on the boat, which if you follow our Facebook, you'll see me often posting loaves of jalapeno cheddar bread. So I have a video clip, actually, not from today or even this trip. If you want, we could check that out, and you can see how I make jalapeno cheddar bread. Alright, well, today I'm going to make jalapeno cheddar bread. It's one of my favorites. Devlin deserves all the credit because she taught me how to make it, and she's a very good teacher. And it's a super easy recipe. If I can do this, anybody out there can do this, and you can do this on a boat. All you need is flour, cheese, coarse sea salt, active yeast, a jalapeno, and water. It's not full yet. The water has to be warm. I'll make the dough today. It's got to sit for about 24 hours, let it rise. It's a no-knead dough recipe, so super easy. The seeds are the hot part of the jalapeno, so those all go into the mix as well. Alright, now that we have our jalapeno chopped, we'll start getting our flour. coarse salt. And then it was a half teaspoon of active yeast. Now I just mix in all my dry ingredients. And this is just regular all-purpose flour. You could use bread flour. Alright, now we can add in our cheese. Our jalapeno. I'm saving those 4 little pieces for tomorrow. And the last thing to do is to add the water. And I don't mix it all in at once, but pour about half of it in. Basically, you're going to try and want to get this, make it into a ball. And if you end up putting too much water in, it's no big deal. You can just add a little more flour if it gets too wet, or if there's not enough water, you know, you can add a little more if it's too dry. So I've still got a little bit of water left in that measuring cup. You can see it starting to form into a ball, but there's still a little bit of dry flour in the bottom, so I'll add that last little bit. I still didn't use all of it. I think that's good. If you don't have one of these, I recommend getting one. It's just a little flexible scraper, but you can get them at the at any baking store. Probably Walmart sells them too. But they're great for getting all the dough off. And you wanna, if you wanna make cleanup easier, you can scrape the bowl. For later. And this is how I sort of get it into the last shape I need, which is like a ball. There we go. So that's what it should look like. Now we're just going to cover it, and I just use saran wrap. Cover it. It should sit somewhere fairly warm to sit for about 18 to 24 hours, and then we'll pull this out tomorrow and it'll have doubled in size, I'm sure, by then, and then we will bake the bread tomorrow. Well, here it is the next day, and I'm ready to start baking the bread. So there's a few things you need. Parchment paper. Because our oven isn't like a standard size oven at home, it is smaller. I actually cut the dough into 2 and I bake 2 loaves. Yeah, normally you would just bake it as 1 loaf of bread. It just works better for our oven to cook it in 2. In Yellowknife we cooked it in 1 loaf all the time. So getting to that, you need a Dutch oven. So that's a kind of like a ceramic type pot with a lid. The oven's going to be set to 475 degrees Fahrenheit, so it's pretty hot. For our oven, I bake it for 25 minutes with the lid on the Dutch oven, and then 12 minutes with the lid off, and that's just to brown it. So the first part of it is to bake it, second part's to brown it. And I think that's it. So I'm going to get the oven started. I'm going to throw the Dutch oven into the oven. Our oven takes a little bit longer to heat up than a oven at home to get to that 475. Oh, and if you're wondering what this thing is, this is, I noticed it hanging there yesterday. It's the base for our belaying pegs outside. It's got the 12th coat of varnish on now, so I'm just letting it set in here a few more days of heat in the cabin, and then I'll go remount them. But in case anyone was wondering what that was. Alright, I'll get started. I've got the lid on the Dutch oven. I'm going to place it in there, and now the oven's preheating, so let's work on the dough. So here's the bowl that I mixed the dough in yesterday, and you can see how much it has risen. So it's pretty full compared to yesterday. I'm going to place that over there. Now we need some flour down on the counter. The other thing you need to do is make sure you got flour on both hands, because this dough is pretty sticky. And the first thing I'm going to do is cut it in half, because we're going to make loaves. So I can just use this scraper. It's also good at cutting. There's no real trick to this, it's just shaping it into a ball. You might be wondering why I cut such a large piece of parchment paper for such a tiny bowl, but this parchment paper is cut to fit into the Dutch oven, which is a lot larger than this. This is just decorative. Now we get those little pieces of jalapeno pepper. If you're making one loaf, you just put one on each corner, but I'm making two, so we'll cut them. Hopefully you can see what's going on here with the dough. Now we'll place it into the little bowl. Now this has to sit at least 30 minutes, and we're going to cover it. You can just use saran wrap, and we'll let it sit there. We'll shape the next dough. There we go. So now we just have to wait for that oven to heat up. Siri, set the timer for 25 minutes.
25 minutes, counting down.
Alright, there's 25 minutes with the lid on. Now, take the lid off, close it back up. Hey Siri, set timer for 12 minutes.
12 minutes, counting down.
There we go. We'll do 12 minutes with the lid off. That's to brown it. Alright, that's been 12 minutes. Bring the bread out. Close the oven. Bread here. Now we just repeat the process with the other loaf. Alright, so here's a little closer look. The parchment paper is already cool to the touch. The bread will be warm still. So I'm going to try to slide that off carefully. It's more than warm, it's quite hot. Parchment paper will be done, can't reuse it. And here is a loaf of jalapeno cheddar bread. Not sure if you can, it's sliding around. So hopefully you can see that alright on the camera. And I hope you guys enjoyed seeing how I make jalapeno cheddar bread. Well, hopefully you guys enjoyed seeing that. And I wish the YouTube video was 4D, because if you could only just smell how wonderful the cabin is after making bread, it's pretty enjoyable. So my plan is tomorrow I'm gonna head home back to the marina, so I will see you guys probably bright and early and see if I do any filming for the trip home. Well, I'm just leaving the anchorage. It's the next day, and super calm night again. And the water looks like a mill pond as far as I can see. So it might just be a quick motor home, but I hope you guys enjoyed getting out for a little more winter cruising on Canada's west coast.